Good day, Deep in Word family. It's day 28 of our Bible study review. Y'all, we're almost done with the book of Exodus, all right? We're going to open up with chapter 32 today, and we're ending at chapter 34. Yesterday's reading ended with the 2 tablets in the hands of Moses. Yes, the 10 words, the 10 commandments written by the finger of Elohim, the full Godhead. So he is about to make his way down the mountain. And so we see the children of Israel, they're getting impatient. They think that Moses has up and left. They think that Yahuwah Elohim has up and left. They could not wait for 40 days. Yet they are the ones who asked Moses, you go up, you get the rest of the instructions. We can't handle his voice. And so he actually did what they asked him to do, and Yahuwah allowed it. And so we're approaching 40 days of them being in their covenant, and we see that they can't wait. They come to Aaron and they ask him to make them a mighty one that will go before them. And they know that that is the first thing that Yahuwah Elohim told them not to do. And they agreed twice not to do that. And yet here they are. So Aaron, he agrees. Aaron tells them, take off the golden earrings, take off their adorned pieces of gold. And he puts these pieces of gold together and he molds a golden calf. And they say, this is our God. This is the one who brought us out of the land of Egypt. I will tell you, I see the same things today. I see every gift that our Heavenly Father has given to his children, and then they use those gifts to glorify the kingdom of darkness. I see it all the time. It's tragic. So Aaron builds an altar for this golden calf. This doesn't come out of just anywhere. They were in Egypt. The bull is sacred in Egypt, okay? Yeah, you'll see that it's all across the world too. Those who think that the cow is sacred, this goes all the way back to Egypt. And honestly, the worship in Egypt goes all the way back to Babylon. It's nothing new. It's just crept into different cultures and they've renamed them. After Aaron makes this altar, he makes an announcement to the children of Israel. He goes, tomorrow we have a festival unto Yahuwah, Yahuwah Elohim, the same God who told them not to make a molded image, not to burn offerings on altars to them. This is exactly what they're doing. To make this crystal clear, this is a picture of a woman laying in someone else's bed. That's what building an altar and sacrificing, spilling blood on that altar represents. I went over this before. Altars are portals. They are gateways for the spiritual realm to enter into the natural realm by way of ritual, covenant, sacrifice. That's the whole picture of the lamb. Before they exited Egypt, what happened? They sacrificed a lamb. They sacrificed it unto Yahuwah Elohim, and then it became a burnt offering, and then they ate of that sacrifice. This is how this works. You bring a sacrifice upon an altar, and then that God enters into that sacrifice, and then you eat the meat of that sacrifice that way that God enters inside of you. Now do you understand why the satanic and the demonic do their rituals? So that they can receive power from the other side. But see, Yahuwah Elohim told them, do not do this because, they would invoke other deities, demons. So they rise early in the morning. They sacrifice upon this altar to this golden calf. And then they eat and have a festival. And Yahuwah tells Moses, he goes, hurry, go down. The children of Israel have already turned aside from me. They have molded a golden calf. Let's read verse 9. And Yahuwah said to Moshe, I have seen this people, and see, it is a stiff-necked people. And now let me alone, that my wrath may burn against them and consume them, and I make a great nation out of you. Yahuwah was ready to get rid of all of them and start over with just Moshe, because his brother Aaron committed a wicked crime. He entered into that same marriage covenant vow at Mount Sinai, and he led them astray. Moses intercedes and he pleads on behalf of the people. And he tells Yahuwah, remember your covenant. Please do not let your wrath burn against this people. He says, remember the covenant you said with Abraham, Isaac, and Yaakov, Israel, that you would make us a great nation. He said, why should the Egyptians say, oh, he took them out just to slaughter them all? He says, please, please turn this anger aside. Moshe is a picture of Christ. Christ, when he was on the cross, he said, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. So Moses starts to make his way down the mountain with Joshua, Yehoshua, his assistant, and it sounds like they're at war. But no, they actually come down a little bit further and they see that there's dancing taking place. Moses sees the golden calf and he is livid. Yes, he drops and breaks the tablets, the stones with the covenant words on them. Moses takes the golden calf, he burns it to the ground, and he grounds it into this powder, mixes it in with water, and he makes the children of Israel drink of it. Verse 21, and Moshe said to Aaron, what did this people do to you that you have brought such a great sin upon them? And Aaron said, do not let the displeasure of my master burn. You know the people, for evil is in them. And they said to me, make us mighty ones to go before us. For Moshe, the man who brought us out of the land of Egypt, we do not know what has become of him. And I said to them, whoever has gold, let them take it off. And they gave it to me, and I threw it in the fire, and this calf came out. Do you see how Aaron is deflecting? Aaron handcrafted. Aaron molded the calf himself. Verse 25. And Moshe saw that the people were let loose, for Aaron had let them loose to their shame among their enemies. The truth is, Aaron bent the knee to the pressure, which is what a lot of people do. Standing for the truth and standing on right principles is hard. And so when the pressure comes against you, are you going to stand or bend the knee? In this case, Aaron bent all the way down. And so did the children of Israel. They bent the knee to the pressure, thinking that their God abandoned them because things weren't done in their timing. Do you see how they took the grace of God and decided they were going to worship him however they wanted to worship him when they knew, because they agreed not to worship him the way he said not to, but they did it anyways? That looks a lot like the modern day church to me. So Moshe stood at the entrance of the tent of meeting and he said, who is for Yahuwah? Come to me. And the sons of Levi gathered unto him. And he instructed them according to the word of Yahuwah Elohim, to slay his brother, to slay everyone. Those who broke my covenant shall be cut off. Do you remember the ancient covenant ceremony? See, if you break the covenant, you become like the animal who was cut off from life. That's what happened. Over 3,000 people died that day. Verse 30. And it came to be on the next day that Moshe said to the people, you have sinned a great sin, and now I am going up to Yahuwah, that I might atone for your sin. Verse 32. And now if you would lift their sin, but if not, please blot me out of your book which you have written. Moses says, let me pay. If you won't blot out their sin, let me pay. Blot my name out. This is a picture of Messiah paying for our sins. Verse 33. And Yahuwah said to Moshe, whoever has sinned against me, I will blot him out of my book. And now go, lead the people to the place which I have spoken to you. See, my messenger goes before you, and in the day of my visitation I shall visit their sin upon them. And Yahuwah plagued the people because they made a calf which Aaron made. Do you see that? Those who enticed Aaron to go against the command, against the marriage vow, the marriage covenant, he says he blotted their names out. We will never see those people. And they were sons of Israel. They had the DNA, but they transgressed and they were blotted out. So please don't get too comfortable in your DNA thinking you're the people, but you can break the laws. Absolutely not. No, ma'am, no, sir. The covenant still stands. The moral law to love Elohim with all your heart, your soul, your strength, which are the first 4 commandments. And the last 6, love your neighbor as yourself. You purposely go out to break that royal Torah command? You're playing. You're playing with your name being in that book. Stop playing them games today. Chapter 33 opens up and we see that Yahuwah Elohim says, I'm not going to break my promise. I'm going to do exactly what I said. But his heart is broken. And as I was reading chapters 33 and 34, I cried because I felt the broken heart of Abba. He says that he will send the messenger, the angels before them, so that he will drive out all of the inhabitants of the promised land before them. But he says, I myself will not go with you, lest I consume this people. This is a picture of the husband not being able to look at the wife because she just cheated on him. Verse 5, and Yahuwah said to Moshe, say to the children of Israel, you are a stiff-necked people. Should I go up in your midst for one moment, I shall consume you. And now take off your ornaments, and I shall know what to do with you. He's saying, take off your jewelry, lest you do something stupid again, like making another golden calf. He's like, yeah, the gifts that I gave to you, you used it for another man. You used it to give praise and honor to someone else. I rescued you out from the hand of Pharaoh. I fed you. I clothed you. I gave you everything you needed, and you took everything I gave you and gave it to someone else. His heart is broken. So they took off all of the ornaments, all of their gold, all of their jewelry, and they left it at the mountain where they had the wedding. It's the same place where they broke their vows, only 40 days in. After this, Moses goes into the tent of appointment to meet with Yahuwah Elohim. And it says that Yahuwah spoke with Moses as if he spoke to a friend face to face. The only one who he found faithful left was Moses, so that's who he wanted to speak to. As he went into the tent of appointment, the children of Israel saw the cloud. They saw the cloud over the tent, so they knew that Yahuwah Elohim was talking to him. Verse 13. And now, please, if I have found favor in your eyes, please show me your way. Let me know you, so that I may find favor in your eyes, and consider that this nation is your people. He is pleading with Yahuwah Elohim. He says, show me your ways. Show me who you are. Is this our cry? Is our cry to know him inside and out? Is our cry to intercede on behalf of our brothers and sisters when they make dumb, stupid mistakes? Moshe says to Yahuwah Elohim, if you do not go with us, do not lead us. If your presence is not right here with me, I don't want it. If that is not your cry, if that is not your attitude towards Yahuwah Elohim, you have adjusting to do. Because if it is not from him, it will not be blessed. Why would you want to live your life without your covenant partner? We have to get a picture of this. This is like a husband and a wife. And this is like the wife saying, I'm not going to move to another state and you're not going to be there with me. That's absolutely ridiculous. I'm not going anywhere without you. If you ain't going, I'm not going. Period. Moshe continues to plead with Yahuwah Elohim, and he says, how will the nations know that we are favored by you if you're not right there with us? And so Yahuwah Elohim says, I will be with you. I will perform all of the words which I said I would do. And he says, I will pass before you, but you shall not see my face. I will proclaim my name to you. And so he gives him instructions. Verse 21. And Yahuwah said, see, there is a place with me, and you shall stand on the rock. And it shall be, while my esteem passes by, that I shall put you in the cleft of the rock, and cover you with my hand while I pass. Then I shall take away my hand, and you shall see my back, but my face shall not be seen. Now we walk into chapter 34, and we see that Yahuwah tells Moses, cut 2 stones of tablets again, and I shall write the words of the wedding vows, the covenants on them again. So Moses does as Yahuwah commands, and he meets him up in the mountain. Verse 5, and Yahuwah came down in the cloud and stood with him there and proclaimed the name Yahuwah. And Yahuwah passed before him and proclaimed, Yahuwah, Yahuwah, and El, compassionate and showing favor, patient and great in kindness and truth, watching over kindness for thousands, forgiving wickedness and transgression and sin, but by no means leaving unpunished, visiting wickedness of the fathers upon the children, upon the children's children, on the 3rd and the 4th generation. And Moses hurried up and he bowed down before him. And he said, if now I have found favor in your eyes, O Yahuwah, I pray, let Yahuwah go in our midst, even though we are a stiff-necked people, and forgive our wickedness and sin, and take us as your inheritance. Take us back as your wife. And the hurting husband takes the wife back, and he says, I'm about to do great wonders, wonders that no one has ever seen before. But he says, you must guard what I command. And he warns them again. He says, do not make a covenant with the inhabitants of the people of the land. He says, when you enter into the land, you utterly destroy their altars. You will not sleep in another man's bed again. This is what he says, essentially. And he says, do not connect yourself with the people there, lest your sons and your daughters whore around with the people of them and start slaughtering on their altars. When you say that you are of him, but then you actually serve the kingdom of darkness, he calls it whoring. When you chase after idols, you chase after the temporal things of this world and not the eternal things of the kingdom. If you do not seek first the king and his kingdom, so that all else shall be added on to you, he says, you're selling yourself cheap. He tells them again, you must guard the feast of unleavened bread at its appointed time in the month of Abib. You must guard the Feast of First Fruits, and the Feast of Latter First Fruits, which is the Feast of Tabernacles. He says, you must guard the Sabbath and keep it. Verse 25, do not offer the blood of my slaughtering with leaven. What does this mean? Leaven represents sin, all right? He only wants unleavened bread. Unleavened bread represents the body of our Messiah. He lived a life without sin, and he offered up his blood. So what is he saying to us? Don't use the blood of Messiah and say, now I can go back and live a life of leaven. I can go back and live a life of sin because that's what grace is for. Please stop with the delusions. Moses goes back up in the mountain so that he can get the 10 words to put back on the stone tablets. And he was there for 40 days and 40 nights. He did not eat. He did not drink water. And when he came back down, it says that his face shone so brightly that the children of Israel could not take it. See, that's what happens when you get into the presence of the Father. That's what happens when you feed on the true manna, not the natural food. When you really, truly live by the Spirit, oh, the whole world can see it. It says that his face shone so bright he had to put a veil over his face. This is honestly what Adam looked like before he sinned. Adam was covered in the glory. And one day, y'all, we will shine and sparkle just like that. When we get those new bodies and we're in the presence of our Heavenly Father, our bodies are holy, holy, holy. Child, sparkles everywhere. Deep in Word family, I hope you learned a little something today. And if you didn't, well, there's always tomorrow. Until then, Yah bless.